So this question here is asking you to remember the neutralization equation. So you've got acid and base makes a salt and water. So the chemical that's missing from the list is the water. During an experiment, so this is making a salt by reacting an insoluble base with this. And if you remember, we've done this as a core practical. When you add, so the copper oxide's being added, CuO, this is the black powder, and what we have to do is put the black powder into here and then it will react. As it reacts, this solution here goes blue. You keep reacting it until the copper oxide no longer reacts, and you can tell it stopped reacting because the copper oxide is insoluble and it remains in the solution. So the first thing is add the copper oxide until it remains unreacted in the beaker. Okay, and there's 3 marks here. We need to think about what else there is. So what does that mean? That means we have got excess, too much copper oxide is present. So we've added extra copper oxide, so it's too much of it. And then the final step in here, why does that happen? Because all the acid has been neutralized. Okay, so the next bit, the reaction produces aqueous solution of copper. So remember, aqueous means in solution, it's in water. What is the best way to obtain crystals from an aqueous solution? So the best way to actually get the crystals is just to leave, let's just check, pure the solution through filter paper. The filter doesn't work. Heat the solution from Bunsen burner until dry. That isn't the best way because you end up losing your salt. You remember the salt can then jump out. Leave it in a cold place. You wouldn't leave it in a cold place. So you've got to heat the solution using a water bath. So it's nice and gentle, and that will generate your salt. So during that process, we just looked at how the arrangement of particles change as crystals are formed from a solution. So in a solution, okay, the particles, the ions, are free to move about. So the ion particles are free to move, and because it's a solution, they will have a random arrangement. As it comes into a solid, what we then do is the ions are arranged in rows and they can vibrate. So they can't move about, they can just vibrate. In terms of electrons, what happens here? Well, what we have to do here is I'm going to write these 2 formulas down, and then I'm going to put some charges in. So that oxide ion is 2 minus, and the copper sulfate is 2 minus. So because the anions are negative 2, this means the copper is positive 2, and therefore the charge hasn't changed. So if the charge doesn't change, it's neither been oxidized or reduced because no electrons have been lost or gained. So I would say the Cu is plus 2 in both substances. It has not been oxidized or reduced. This one is using the Chicken-Vindaloo equation, so amount, concentration, volume. It wants us to find the mass, which is the amount. So the amount is concentration times volume. So we're trying to find the concentration, so the amount, so it's concentration times volume. The concentration in here is 39.875, and then we times it by the volume, which is 0.3. That's in decimeters, so we're okay. When you do that, you get an answer of 11.9625 grams.